a little something for my Oklahomies, people living in Oklahoma, passing through Oklahoma, whatever the case may be, what to know, what to do when you see signs like this right here. So what we have here is a Reasor's grocery store. I believe this particular store is in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. And as you can see, they have a sign here that says long guns not permitted in the store. And then underneath it says pursuant to section 1290.22, and then in parentheses OSCN 2024. These are, that the stuff in the fine print, not required by law. It's not even a complete citation. It doesn't say that this is in Title 21 of the Oklahoma statutes, the OSCN 2024. That's really meaningless. It's just saying, okay, I guess that means they looked it up on the Oklahoma State Courts Network website last year. But be that as it may, what they are referring to is, again, section 1290.22 of Title 21, business owners' rights. And section C, or paragraph C of this section states, a property owner, tenant, employer, liquor store, place of worship, or business entity may prohibit any person from carrying a concealed or unconcealed firearm on the property. If the building or property is open to the public, the property owner, tenant, employer, liquor store, place of worship, or business entity shall post signs on or about the property stating such prohibition. Okay, so basically what this is saying is that if you are a private entity that's open to the public, okay, not a government building, not state government, not municipal government, not county, definitely not federal, because, state law has no bearing on what the federal government does. But if you are basically a private entity and you're open to the public and you want to ban firearms on your property, you shall post a sign saying so. And it doesn't really matter what the sign says. In this case, they are specifically prohibiting long guns with this sign. But what does this mean in practice? Basically, do you need to pay attention to this sign? Is this sign backed by force of law? If you walk past this sign, are you committing a crime? The short answer is no. These signs in Oklahoma are not backed by force of law. Walking past them is not a criminal act, because when you come down a little further here to paragraph E in the same section, the otherwise lawful carrying of a concealed or unconcealed firearm by a person on property that has signs prohibiting the carry of firearms shall subject the person to being denied entrance onto the property or removed from the property if, and then we have two conditions that must both be met. Condition 1, if the person has been informed by the property owner, business entity, or manager of the business that the person is in violation of a policy that prohibits firearms on the property, and that person refuses to leave the property and a peace officer is summoned, the person shall, upon conviction, be guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by a fine not to exceed $250. So, basically what this sign is saying is, you know what? We really don't care if you carry handguns in our store. We're not prohibiting handguns. We don't care if you carry openly. We don't care if you carry concealed. We just don't want you to bring a rifle in. Don't bring a rifle, a shotgun, don't bring a long gun in. And, these signs in Oklahoma are basically a heads up, letting you know that if you do the thing they're telling you not to do, there's a good chance someone might ask you to leave. And by that, they might want you to leave and never return. They might just want you to leave, go put your gun in your car, come back in without your firearm. It's that easy. And as long as one, nobody says anything to you, or two, someone does ask you to leave and you comply with that, no crime has been committed. If you refuse to leave, that's a different story. And that gets us back to, well, if they, ask you to leave, you refuse to do so, they call the police, and you're still there, misdemeanor, fine not to exceed $250. Of course, realistically, you'll probably get a pair of shiny bracelets. You'll get to go for a ride with a police officer. You'll get to get yourself bailed out of jail. You'll have a court date, court costs, attorneys, that sort of thing. But as far as the criminal side of this thing and stuff that's going to go on your record, misdemeanor, fine, not to exceed $250. So I hope that breaks it down and really clarifies things for folks as to what's the penalty, what's the legality of these no gun signs in Oklahoma.